Hey everyone, welcome back to the open source office here at Intersect. It is Tex once again. We have recently onboarded some really exciting developer advocates as part of our developer advocate program. I'm excited to introduce one of them here to you here today, and this is going to be Bernard Sibanda. Bernard, you want to give just a quick hello for yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Bernard Sibanda.
Awesome, thank you. So Bernard, just a few quick questions. We want to share with the community some more about yourself. So tell us what motivates you to work in the blockchain space and open source ecosystems.
First, I was a developer on the Ethereum platform in 2018. Then in 2021, I was attracted to Cardano because of the academic, the peer reviews, the security. It is what attracted us most here. But working with the community, Women in Move Solutions, we realized the transaction fees were very low and easy entry barriers. That is what attracted us to Cardano blockchain.
Wonderful, thank you. So if you don't mind to tell us a little bit more about your past experiences, tell us more about how you've worked with distributed teams across different geographies and time zones, and how is it that you are able to ensure effective collaboration?
I joined Bluetooth Pioneer in 2022. We were around 3,000 under Dr. Lars. We worked in teams with the first Bluetooth Pioneer. It was a very nice experience. It was challenging, although in the beginning, but eventually we were able to get something going. Up until now, we are still working on Bluetooth and other languages that you see today, like Helios, ICANN. All these are coming from my colleagues who were working as teams on the first Bluetooth Pioneer.
Well, Plutus is definitely one of those larger projects here on Cardano, so that's really great to hear. So as far as you and serving in the developer advocate position, are there any specific engagement strategies that you have or that you're looking to put in place?
Yes. Before I joined this advocate developer, I've already started something similar, Crosschain Global, where we are supporting, giving live technical support to developers on Cardano smart contracts that we have currently. So on this particular program as such, my strategy is to make sure that the developers out there, their experiences is a nice one, and their concerns are heard. And we also want to implement a user-friendly onboarding system with documentation, with communication that is very clear. We want to retain existing developers as well as onboarding new ones. That is the strategy.
Well, that's definitely very important. We definitely need to retain as well as onboarding new. So thank you.
Yes.
It seems like what you were saying just a moment ago may lead to this here as well, but what are your plans as far as collecting and communicating feedback from these developers back to the stakeholders?
Yes. Already I have started in August. In August, I started with a questionnaire, a survey, which I distributed across more than, I think, 22 different communities of Cardano. And there were about 22 questions. There are about 3 free questions that we do. I've got a link to the survey, which I'm going to share with you. Out of this survey, the respondents, there were about 27 developers who have responded. We have looked at most of them who really answered these questionnaires about developers. Quite a number of them are from developing countries. Quite a number of them are less than 1 year in Cardano. Quite a number of them are students. One most striking feature is they are saying Cardano experience has got a steep learning curve. the testing and deployment is a challenge. So this presents me and others as DAs to make sure that we put in place procedures and activities for mentorship, put in place activities for making these experiences a happy one. Basically, I can say I have already done a survey, an initial one, and it has been quite a success and is available for people to view. It is out of this that we are planning to run activities to make sure going forward we fix this.
Well, absolutely. Thank you for the work that you're doing, and we look forward to see the work that you'll continue to do. You know, as you mentioned, you do have some cross-chain knowledge, as it would appear. So can you tell us more specifically about how that impacted you when it came to working on a Cardano project, whether that's Plutus or another one? And, you know, where did you provide that technical support, or, you know, what are some of the tasks that you would say that you're most skilled with when it comes to this developer community or the community in general? When should they reach out to you is what we're asking.
Okay, the first thing is they can reach out to me anytime via my email, via my Discord handle, via my Telegram handle. The most important thing that I can put in place is making sure that people have got the correct information. Initially, when we started, a lot of improvements on Bluetooth Pioneer were not there. Currently now, when people go to certain documentations which are not updated, or when they go to certain repositories which have collapsed, then they are stuck and they don't know who to contact and where to get help from. So I'm just requesting all town halls, all centers of communications to make use of this developer advocate program, because from here we are always in touch with the updated documentation, updated apps that are running currently now.
Great, thank you. So what would be an example of maybe a technical concept that you've had to explain to somebody who's less experienced? I believe you said you've kind of connected with a lot of people who are, you know, a year or less into the Cardano ecosystem here. So, yeah, what's a technical concept that you've explained, and how are you able to ensure that they understood?
Okay, yes. I have met up with developers who came from Ethereum into developing with Cardano. I've got quite an examples. I'm not sure about mentioning names, but I do have them. They were developing on Ethereum, and when they came to Cardano, they were not aware of the Bluetooth Pioneer requirements. So I'll give you two examples. The first one, it was a company in Cape Town. They were running an event, and they wanted to create event tickets, smart contract event tickets on Cardano, because they were running a project which I think Cardano Foundation was going to be involved. So they reached out to me through reference that I'm one of those who are live available for assisting. One of the challenges that I faced with them was they had information, they were installing a Cardano node, and it was not working. They were using hardware which was not supporting Cardano node installation. They wanted to use a PAB, Bluetooth Application Backend, and it was going to take almost a long time for them to even get started with the smart contracts which they wanted for event tickets. Then I brought to their attention that they were doing it the long way. It was not going to be successful because they needed those smart contracts to be running within 2-3 days. Then I pointed them to the services that were available, that some of these NFTs, you can mint them with the current available services. For example, Maestro has got services, audited smart contract, where you just built in a front end, and then they host it for you. Then we are able to mint your tokens, to send your tokens to the market, or to use the event tickets. Another was on ICANN. This developer had no knowledge of ICANN, but had some knowledge of JavaScript. So the developer contacted me to say, I am having issues with ICANN. I've got recorded videos on these ones. If you go to github.io, wims.io, you are going to see this video. I showed the developer that the problem the developer was having with ICANN was caused by incorrect information. The developer went into ICANN source code and started building without understanding the EUTXO model. Understanding the TX Cardano transaction processes, building processes, is the foundation of you to be able to work with a EUTXO model versus the account-based model. So it is this that I had to practically walk through the developer first through the model of how EUTXOs carry the data, which are digital assets, and the mappings and collections of different digital assets they have. And it is from there, when we went to the ICANN data types, then it began to make sense. And the bugs that were coming out when we were debugging that ICANN on the playground, he was able to fix them and understand them. Lucky enough, we're linking also with the ICANN developer team. And I did point out that, you see, if you do not do Bluetooth core, you are most likely going to run into these new languages. But these new languages, number one, they are not yet mature. Number two, they have some of the, let's call it types or classes, but there's still a lot missing. That is why they are still evolving. It is up to us when we work with this ICANN, Helios, whatever, especially if you have got the core knowledge of the Bluetooth core primitives in Haskell, you know them, you know where to find them. Then you see on the other side that this whole module was not fully implemented on this side. Some functions, some modules were left out. Why? Because it's still in the process, coming up like that. But basically, I would recommend anyone to look into that video. You'll hear it from his own mouth, explaining how this live, assisting somebody live with current knowledge, it helped him cross the most painful path.
Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate the explanation, and I hope the community does as well. And definitely look forward to sharing all of your platforms here so the community can go and take a look at it for themselves,
Yes.
and still know that they can reach out to you also.
Yes.
If we steer this back to your participation here in the Developer Advocate Program, what do you see as some of the biggest challenges when engaging in such a diverse and distributed developer community, and how do you plan to address these changes?
Okay, the first challenge is time zones. We really need to cater for all different time zones. Why? Because developers are getting into this in different times. That is the first. So that either we distribute our services over different time zones, LATAM, Japan, is Central Eastern time. That is the first one. The second one, at the current state, Cardano has moved the code development into Intersect, but we have still quite the official documentations of Cardano pointing to links that are broken. So we need to, what we call it, work hand in hand with the maintainers of those docs, official IOHK docs, to make sure that those broken links are redirected to Intersect, where we give help, especially on the starter kits. If you go now to the official IOHK docs, the Bluetooth starter kit is shelved, it's no longer working, it's no longer there. But we have got alternatives like the meter run starter kits, the Kimberlab starter kits, the Maestro starter kits, and we have got the Malo. Also, Malo, the old official docs are broken. We need to communicate. Basically, this transition of information from the official old into Intersect is very important. So the next most important thing is also this mentor-mentee walkthrough. We've got existing good Cardano developers who have been here for quite some time. So the training of new developers via mentor-mentee relationship, that will be most welcome, because the maintenance of the Bluetooth core is very critical, not now, but also for the future. It has brought in a lot of Cardano security. We don't want that thrown away. We want it maintained. And the influence also of Haskell into these other languages is very key, because it brings about deterministic predictability, and it also brings about security, which is most important for Cardano. So basically, these are one of a few ways that we need to improve this developer experience that we are faced with.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you for sharing. The
Thank
last
you.
one we have for you is just regarding some professional growth. So we're curious, what keeps you motivated, and how do you continue to grow in such a dynamic and innovative environment?
Yes, I was motivated from 2022 by Dr. Lars' lectures on those 10 weeks. That is why I never left. I took the next one on Bluetooth Core. Then I went to university to take Bluetooth certification. My growth path is I have valued most, sorry to mention a vendor, commercial vendor, but it's the fact with me. I have valued most, which is a Cardano architecture, a developer certification. I would really want to be one of those that really get certified on this Cardano architecture certification, because it has been way out of my reach before due to finance. It's around $1,900 and it lasts about 30 days. So that has been something out of reach for me, but it has been one of these Cardano core developer certifications, which are formal, which I value most, so that I will be effectively able to contribute as a DA, also assisting others to come along.
Well, it's great. It's great to have and see that drive. So I'm happy
Thank
for you in
you.
that regard.
Sure.
Well, I do want to thank you, Bernard, for joining us here today. Again, this is one of our developer advocates here at Intersect. If you have any questions, of course, you can find us intersectmbo.org. As far as the open source office, we are on Twitter, or X rather, at IntersectOso. You can also find us in the knowledge base. It's on our Gitbook pages there. But if you ever any questions, just don't hesitate to reach out to us. Make sure to go ahead and give us a like, comment, and subscribe. And Bernard, anything else for the community as we sign off?
Thank you very much. Looking forward to working with you. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Bernard. Have a great one, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.